You can see number 120, Matteo Cairoli in the Porsche. The order has been pre-drawn, so the dummy order, if you like, is going to be Laurens Vanthoor, Matteo Cairoli that will head out first, with Raffaele Marciello and Augusto Farfus a notional second row behind them on this pre-grid. 30 minutes then ahead of us for the FIA GT World Cup Free Practice 1, which is for the Macau GT Cup this weekend. Again, it's sort of two races within one, or it's one race with two titles, and it's a quality entry. Every previous winner of the FIA GT World Cup is on this entry list, and it's going to be fantastic, no question about it. David Addison and Alan Hyde trackside, and getting ever more enthusiastic, I think, as proper cars, proper drivers are about to venture out onto a proper circuit.
They are just wonderful around this place. They are supreme. GT3 cars around the gear circuit at Macau. If you've never seen them before, you would wonder whether they could fit around the gear circuit here at Macau. They do. They fit superbly, and they are such a sight.
It's one of the beauties of GT3 racing that was created by Stefan Rattel, the architect, really, of the great success globally of GT racing. And although the cars have evolved, they look a lot more advanced now than they did when GT3 arrived. The cars remain amazing bits of kit. And you look down this pre-grid and you can see the way the different manufacturers have approached all of this. You've got different shapes, you've got different sizes, you've got different engine configuration, whether it's normally aspirated, whether it's twin turbos. And better than anything, these are cars that all make a fantastic noise.
Thank you. We got one in nice and early. Every session, please. And they sound even better around the gear circuit here at Macau. There are barriers either side, either barriers or walls either side of the circuit. So the sound is amplified. It echoes around the streets of Macau. Bear in mind, there are people going about their normal everyday business here at Macau.
They could stop and watch this. These are proper cars. Yes, indeed.
They are just brilliant, and these are world-class drivers. We've got Christopher Haas here at Macau. Can't remember if Christopher has been here before.
Oh, I want to say that he has.
I'm not sure he has.
Bear with, caller.
Okay.
I thought he had.
I might be completely wrong in saying, but I just don't remember. Let's check.
I thought he had. I'll come back to you on that.
Okay.
So all the manufacturers taking this very seriously. They've sent all the big guns here for this weekend. So, as I say, it is a proper entry, dripping with quality. And the manufacturers haven't brought people here just because they feel like a few days in this part of the world. They're here to win for the manufacturer. Daniel Serra, whose father, of course, was a Prix racer, Chico Serra, part of the Ferrari lineup for the weekend. Number 22, Earl Bamber, whose flight from America was cancelled, so he got here during the night. But he doesn't look too jet-lagged, does he? Good to go. You were asking me about Christopher Haas, weren't you, a moment ago? It is a third visit of his career.
Yep, I was wrong. Sorry about that.
Now then, there is Eduardo Mortara, who is not only a very successful driver in GT cars around here, but also is, of course, a winner in Formula 3. Number 91 in the very spectacularly coloured Mercedes, Danny Juncadella, run by Craft Bamboo Racing, who've already had a win, of course, because Daryl Young won the Greater Bay Area GT Cup last weekend. Daniel Juncadella Perez Sala, the full name. Again, his uncle, Grand Prix driver Luis Perez Sala, the man that won the first Birmingham Super Prix. Marchi Lee, stalwart of racing here, 47 years of age now, Audi R8 Cup champion. So you're getting the picture here, not only about spectacular liveries, but about some of the stars. Right, let's put you on the spot nice and early. Pick a winner for the weekend.
For this weekend...
exactly.
Yeah. I can't.
So you've got Vanthoor that's won it before, you've got Mortara that's won it before, you've got Engel that's won it before, you've got Marciello that's won it before, you've got Farfus that's won it before. Green flag, session is live.
Can you pick a winner?
Not easily. Not easily. I'm tempted to sort of lean towards Raffaele Marciello.
Okay.
in what's going to be his farewell appearance for Mercedes.
Yes.
It's going to take some getting used to next year because he's been snaffled by BMW. He had signed for Lamborghini, but then things sort of unravelled a bit. He's gone to BMW, they pounced. We're hearing that Jules Gounon may be off to the DTM for Mercedes next year, so whether that means he wouldn't do double driver, triple driver GT racing, we'll find out. But look at this. Proper cars, brilliant circuit, and soak up the noise.
It's just wonderful. But not just the same noise, they're all different noises.
Absolutely.
You can tell what's coming by the engine note, by the sound of the car.
Close your eyes as they come past each other. That's an Audi, that's a BMW, that's a Ferrari, and that is a somewhat brave BMW getting up on the inside. BMWs, you've got one from Rover Racing, you can easily tell because of the colour scheme, and you've got another one coming out of the WRT stable for Sheldon van der Linde. There, the remainder of the grid heading out onto the circuit.
It's one that's
Number
stopped.
70, Archie Lee's Mercedes has expired. So,
that's turn one.
Yeah, that's just coming out of the pit lane, and that's very odd that it would have a problem so early.
Really strange. So Archie Lee's car is stricken on the side of the circuit, and without that car getting going.
Right, so that car, what they'll probably do is give him about half a minute, because it's a bit like, you know, restarting a computer. It's got to power down and then power up and then flick everything back on and then try and get the car going again. So we'll try and get to the bottom of what the problem is.
With a fair degree of panic in the car as well, you'd be doing that, saying, please restart.
Right, Laurens Vanthoor, who you're looking at again. What is unique about Laurens Vanthoor's World Cup win?
I know the answer to this.
Go on.
It wasn't on four wheels.
Correct. He's the only person to win it upside down, yes. But that was in his Audi days. Now,
tell us about what happened when he got his trophy at the SRO Awards.
When he came on stage to collect it, because this is an SRO organised event, and I said something like, I didn't recognise you the right way up. Or, well, I think they gave him his trophy upside down as well, just to make him feel at home. But Laurens Vanthoor switched then to Porsche and is very, very rapid indeed. So let's have a look at Laurens Vanthoor then for a lap. Number 99 Porsche, it comes out of the Toro Racing stable. The 32-year-old Belgian driver then, still the youngest driver to start the Formula 3 Grand Prix, actually, back in 2008. German Formula 3 champion, Spa 24 Hours winner, FIA GT champion, Blancpain Endurance champion, IGTC champion, Dubai 24-hour winner, class winner in the Sebring 12 Hours, and straight away Laurens Vanthoor is leaving nothing on the table, shaves the wall virtually coming out of Mandarin, and now down to Lisboa.
And that's only the outlap. Goodness me, this is impressive, isn't it? The world-class drivers, world-class machinery through Lisboa, neatly avoiding the curbs, the barrier on the exit of the corner, absolutely perfect. Yeah, showing it straight from the outlap. I'm going to be on this, and now we get to savour world-class driver, world-class machinery around the gear circuit. This is one to watch, isn't it? Pick your driver, please. Pick your machine. Absolutely. And follow it over the course of this weekend, because this is going to be quite a ride. Right,
you're on board again with Vanthoor. Wall to the left, barrier to the right. You can feel even the car breathing in. It's so narrow in this part of the circuit. Clear road ahead of him as he heads now through the Solitude S's towards police. Right on board with him. You go right, you go left, go right again in a moment. Road starts to drop. Right up towards the barrier, so Vanthoor first out on that pre-grid, has got clear racetrack ahead of him. It's Matteo Cairoli in the Tsingtao Beer backed Porsche behind him, but actually third in the queue is Augusto Farfus, who's going quicker than the two Porsches ahead of him. So the Brazilian driver for Rover Racing is on a mission as well. Now look how narrow this bit is, Alan.
Round the right-hander at Police, that can catch a few out, on towards the right-hander at Moorish, and then Moorish Hill, and then the long left-hander at Donna Maria to take them to the one part of the circuit that throughout the course of the weekend is no overtaking. Around the Melco hairpin, thread the needle, down through black sands they go. It's almost, I can't believe that anyone breathes as they go around the Melco hairpin, because GT3 cars, getting them around, not just around the Melco hairpin, but getting it around neatly and quickly so you get a good exit, that sets you up for the lap.
It does indeed. You come out of the Melco hairpin and the tendency is to think, good, right, it's going to be wider and faster now. Well, you're half right, it's not faster, but it's still not much wider. This then comes from Fisherman's into our bend, and we've got a traffic jam at the Melco hairpin. Kevin Estra is at the back of it. We've got Alessio Picariello ahead of him, and it's one of the Ferraris that might be the car of David Chen that's gone straight on. Right, yellow flag at turn 12, and let's have a look. The Ferrari, too much speed into the corner, not enough lock, understeers towards the barrier. Picariello has nowhere to go. He gets a tiny tap in the tail from Kevin Estra, and so now they've got to try and unravel all of this. The race director will be keeping an eye to it to try to make sure that they've got going. That's Farfus, and Cairoli is the quickest. Right, we're not doing massively well getting cars out of the way, and there are more on the way to join the queue. Picariello is going to be allowed through, I think, is he?
So if we just get the Ferrari out, it didn't even touch the barrier, did it? It just got it wrong.
Right, so they all got to queue and wait, but if they can keep the session live, they will. If David Chen's got the engine going, then that's the problem, and he has got it going. So good, we're away. And then it all sort of sorts itself out, really.
It does, yeah. Just a bit of a queue to get in, and it does rather back up what I said when the cars came out of the pit lane. It's an awesome spectacle to see GT3 cars around the gear circuit, but it's not simple. They're big cars, they're wide cars, and that particular pinch point around the Macau hairpin is the most tricky.
But fair play to race control, because it would have been tempting there to think track blockage, red flag, but no, they gave everybody warning. The team's on the radio saying, right, slow down because the road is blocked, and it's been sorted, and so the session is live. Picariello, Estra, and I think it was actually Daniel Serra, 51, that was the driver that actually caused all that. So Daniel Serra getting his nose into the wall. Now, you're riding currently with Eduardo Mortara. Let's ride with him as Mr. Macau goes now through Reservoir. Then he's bought himself pretty much the road here. He's on his own as he comes down towards Mandarin, and the speed is building. It
most certainly is, yeah. Mr. Macau for a good reason as well, not only taking wins in the GT Cup, the Macau GT Cup here at Macau, and is also a double winner in the single-seaters in the Formula 3 races for the Macau Grand Prix. So Eduardo Mortara, he knows a thing or two about Macau and the gear circuit. He also knows a thing or two about being a superstar, because here at Macau, he is. People follow him everywhere. They run after him for a photograph, a chat, an autograph, anything. He is an absolute god here.
His was the only waxwork that when I was at the museum on Monday, I saw people having their photos taken with.
Yes. Yeah.
So you're right about him being a superstar.
He is.
Matteo Cairoli is the superstar of the session, but because he has done a 2:19.639 to be the fastest, as Mortara then now makes the run up towards the police right-hander. So he's got the barriers either side of him, incredibly tight and precise part of the racetrack this, but Mortara knows exactly what he is doing. And as far as sectors are concerned, they're good, if not stellar.
Through police, up towards the right-hander at Moorish. That was all the way through the twists and turns of Pyle, and then up Faraway Hill towards police. Then Donna Maria, a long left-hander up towards the Malco hairpin.
Personal best are being posted. The Audi that's got a 5.2-litre V10 engine comes towards the Malco hairpin. Can't see anything other than a barrier, can you? And then eventually there's a bit more road.
And then it opens up just a little bit, not an awful lot. Eventually it will, down through Black Sands, on towards the right-hander of Fisherman's. That's when it begins to open out now. The conclusion of the circuit will be at R Bend, through Fisherman's up towards R Bend, the final turn on the circuit. Great to have these onboard shots as well. Eduardo Mortara, Mr. Macau at the wheel of GT3 machinery here at Macau, so close to the barrier at the conclusion of the lap. Eduardo Mortara, he put in, so we were lucky we were on board for an overall best sector on sector 4, and good enough to go 7th that time.
Indeed so. The Audi, which is, along with the Ferrari, the 296, one of the lightest cars, or the lightest car on the grid at 1285 kilos under the BOP, balanced performance. That's the fastest car of the session then. Matteo Cairoli, who is also tipped to possibly be leaving Porsche at the end of the year, Carrera Cup Italy champion, but he absolutely excels in these, whether it's in the European Le Mans Series, the World Endurance Championship, or SRO GT events. And he's coming up towards the line, set to go quicker still, is he? Well, Vanthor goes quicker, but then Cairoli nails him, and he's fastest by 86 thousandths of a second. So you've got a great little Porsche battle going on at the moment. The Toro racing car is Vanthor, the Absolute racing car, there it is, the Tsingtao beer car is Matteo Cairoli, and third is Kevin Estre. Now, we've not really seen very much of Kevin yet, but he has done an absolute best in Sector 2, and if you follow GT racing, you'll know just what a star Kevin Estre is. Christopher Hauser, though, now, Alan, goes top.
He does, yeah. Just popped in that time, a 2:18.697 for the number 41 car, the Audi of Christopher Hauser. So topping the times. Caroli is second with a 2:18.889, so just a couple of tenths of a second shy of Christopher Hauser. Lawrence Van Tour is third, Kevin Estre is fourth, Sheldon van der Linde is fifth, and Augusto Farfus in the BMW is sixth, in the Rover Racing BMW, who has won this race. He's won the GT World Cup. Terribly emotional. It was already slated to be Charlie Lamb's final race for the Schnitzer team, and Charlie was here and very emotional when it all happened, and Augusto was able to deliver a win for him, and very sadly we lost Charlie Lamb not soon after that.
That's right, yeah. And Schnitzer is no more, sadly, is it? Now we talk about the teams operating BMWs, but Schnitzer was always the go-to team, as Alessio Picariello then goes over the timing line, the Belgian driver, who's done the bulk of his racing in Asia in recent years, and he's 11th fastest. We've just had Edo Mortara up to 13th. Raffaele Marciello, the last man to win the World Cup here back in 2019, he's kind of yet to get going. Raffaele Marciello 15th at the moment, but again, it's only free practice, and all of these drivers know exactly what they're doing and how to work through a programme. The interesting thing, though, is that many of them, not all, but many of them, are brought into a drive by the manufacturer, said, right, you're going to go to Macau and drive for this team. It's a little bit different at BMW, as that's Kevin Estre making a rare mistake and going off the road. Augusto Farfus is with his regular team. Sheldon van der Linde is with his regular team, and I wonder whether that gives them the advantage, because they are perhaps a little bit further ahead on data and on the relationships.
And the personalities, yeah, exactly that. The personalities within the team. You make a really good point there. We've not yet seen Mara Engel feature either, have we?
We have now, just gone 7th on his last lap.
Ah, good news. So Mara Engel up to 7th with a 2:20.067. 2:18.697 for Christopher Hauser, car number 41, the Audi R8 of Christopher Hauser, and he went personal best on the first sector on this lap, overall best on the second sector, and then puts in a slightly slower lap overall because not good sectors for sectors 3, 4 and 5.
Kevin Estre, after his tyre stack moment, is into the pit lane, as also is Roland Vanthor. Still Christopher Hauser is the fastest as he hustles on, looking for a way past the Frankie Cheng Kung Fu Audi, down towards Lisboa. Christopher Hauser for Absolute Racing, sorts out his teammate, goes by. Audi Sports scaling back its programme at the end of this year. There is talk that they might carry on after all in Asia, just because it's such a big market for them. But again, there are quite a lot of subplots to all of this. Yes, it is the Macau GT Cup. Yes, it's the FIA GT World Cup. But if Audi Sport is on its way out completely, where does Christopher Hauser go next? He'd like to sign off with a win. Raffaele Marciello in his last race for Mercedes, he would like to sign out with a win. You know, there are all these other little elements to the drama.
He was one of the drivers that came back to the Macau GT Cup last year, wasn't he, alongside Mara Engel, Raffaele Marciello. They gave us the most stunning opening to a race, didn't they, the two Mercedes? That was just exceptional.
Side by side all the way down to Lisboa, and it was the bravest of the brave. Right,
we got to talk to them a few weeks later for the Golf 12 Hours, and I think the first 5 minutes of the interview is taken up with talking about what happened here.
Maro Engel's gone fastest then, 2:18.256 now. Maro Engel at the top of the times, so another of the GT Cup winners ahead of Adelie Fong. Now, Adelie Fong's Racing team Audi is one that I hope the cameras will pick up, and when it does, as you see over the timing line,
gone third
there, Raffaele Marciello go to the top of the times, 2:18.017. But the Adelie Fong Audi has got a colour scheme that Alan approves of. Raffaele Marciello, then you're riding with him, the fastest, and let's see what he can do on this next lap, because he's still pushing as he goes then now down through Mandarin. That's Matteo Cairoli. Here is Marciello down towards Lisboa. and the car just about at peak revs. There was nothing else to come there on the straight, was there?
These are just stunning, these cars. The noise echoes around the circuit is just beautiful. Augusto Farfus had an interesting lap that time.
Right, few excited noises from Alan.
We love this car.
Because?
It is celebrating 50 years of Hello Kitty. And it's got its own merchandise stand outside, T-shirts, sweatshirts, all of those things. And look at the car. How beautiful is that? It's just great. It's going to be a fan favourite of the weekend. I know it. The kids are going to love it. And I did a bit of research into the Hello Kitty. I didn't know too much about it. It's a cute character. I didn't know that is what it is. It's a cute character. It's not like a cartoon television series or anything like that. It is just a cute character that has made millions and millions and millions over the years because it's a cute character.
Yeah. But there is, I gather, an enormous queue at the Hello Kitty merchandise unit, so you might need to take some time off.
I've got my order in.
There you go. Our producer is wearing his Hello Kitty pyjamas, I'm sure. He's another quick fan. So there is Adderley Fong. If you've got a long memory, you might remember him racing in the UK. He finished Formula 3 for a time. But he's going third fastest now. Adderley Fong has developed into a very good GT driver and always goes well around here. But while he's going well around here to be third behind Engel, who is behind Marcello, Christopher Hauser fourth has done another absolute best in the sector. So is Sheldon van der Linde, who is now the best of the BMW drivers. There's a good mix of brands up at the pointy end of the grid.
There most certainly is. That's an improvement for Eduardo Mortara. It's an improvement for Raffaele Marciello because he goes top. 2:18.017 for Marciello. Mortara a 2:18.227. 2 tenths between the two of them. Maro Engel is up there as well in the Mercedes. 2:18.256 is his fastest lap so far. And Adderley Fong in the Hello Kitty car is fourth.
The what car, Alan?
The Hello Kitty car.
Right, okay.
Which will always be referred to as that.
Right. The fact that it's an Audi is secondary.
I think it's so cool.
Christopher Hauser goes through sixth, but this is going to be a retaliatory lap, I would offer you, except that he's got a Porsche that was get out of the way there. There was a little bit of weaving going on. Lights are flashing. Jules Gounon is on a mission. That is the BMW of Sheldon van der Linde, the WRT car that's not going to complete the lap. Hauser goes quickest again, 2:17.294. And now Sheldon van der Linde pulls the trigger coming out of our bend. He's on it, the BMW from WRT, last year's DTM champion at the wheel of it. Let's go with him.
He did the overall best in the previous lap on the first sector, so how inspiring does that look as the 32 car, currently in 7th place, absolutely fires it through Mandarin on the run down towards Lisboa. Now the right-hander, the overtaking point, circuit to himself, absolute perfect. You can pick your point, you can pick your turning point and make it beautiful, and that is exactly what Sheldon did through the right-hander at San Francisco, up San Francisco Hill. There's going to be traffic ahead now, and that's not a good place to find traffic. What was that? So it wasn't even a personal best on the first sector, but you're right, he's pulled the trigger.
Yeah, and Danny Juncadella briefly third, but has now dropped to fourth behind Maro Engel, who has retaliated. So Hauser, Engel, Marcello, Juncadella, Mortara, Fong changes again. Alessio Picariello for Porsche goes third. What about Sheldon van der Linde? Well, he's down to ninth. First sector was a bit slower. Second sector was a personal best.
You can't pick a winner at this stage. It's name after name after name that we're calling out. Such a class field. They're all so pleased to be back. I think it was notable, really, that some of the top manufacturers and drivers wanted to come here last year. Yep. It wasn't an FIA GT World Cup. It was the Macau GT Cup. And so there wasn't the manufacturer element to the race that there might potentially be with the advent of the FIA GT World Cup. But they still wanted to be here. They wanted to be going around the gear circuit. Yeah. And why would they not? It
was worth all the sacrifices
as
they landed. So Christopher Hauser the fastest. Alessio Picariello is at the moment sixth, but doing absolute best. Matteo Cairoli's green Porsche has fought back to be third. But yeah, I mean, it is at the moment very, very open indeed. And the importance of qualifying can't be understated because these are big cars to try to hustle around the circuit. Overtaking not that easy. But Sheldon van der Linde comes to the end of the lap. This should be an improvement on his 2:18.7. And as he breaks the beam now, goes through third fastest to 2:17.6.
And Picariello is going well as well. An overall best in Sector 2, a personal best in Sector 1.
There he is.
and we pick up the blue Porsche now. It is just mouth-watering machinery, isn't it? Machinery that has these special liveries to come here to Macau, and very often they reflect the loud, bright colours that we know for racers in this region of the world. And that Porsche in blue looks spectacular. What's he done? The third sector wasn't anything particular. It wasn't far off, but it wasn't anything in particular. But a personal best in Sector 4, overall best in Sector 2, personal best in Sector 1. And watch out, Raffaele Marciello is going purple as well in Sector 3. He's gone personal best in Sectors 1 and 2, overall best in Sector 3. And Piccariello completes the lap, does a 2:17.9.
That flattered to deceive, didn't it? It had good bits and lots of good bits.
Early on, really good.
It was quicker, but it kept him 8th. Now, this, at the Macau hairpin in the Landgraf Mercedes, is Raffaele Marciello. It was Landgraf for whom he won the German Championship, the ADAC GT Masters last year. So there's a relationship there with the team, although predominantly this year he's been with Jérôme Policon's Acodis ASP squad, which again moves away from Mercedes. They go to Lexus for GT3 next year. Up towards Fisherman's, completed, R Bend, next. Personal best, personal best, personal best, personal best. 4 sectors completed. 1 corner to go. Lap about to be completed. His 8th in the session. And as Raffaele Marciello goes through, goes quickest, a 2:17.195. 99 thousandths quicker than anybody else. And this, in a way, is the best bit now, because it was foot to the boards all the way down to Lisboa. But let's see what Laurens Vanthoor is up to. Well, the answer is personal, and absolute best in the first 3 sectors, Alan.
Yeah, certainly does, and goes 4th. So goes 4th with a 2:17.5 dead, and Laurens Vanthoor goes 4th in the 99 car. So impressive in the middle sector, that overall best in Sector 3. But Raffaele Marciello has just proved you don't have to go overall best in any of the sectors. They were all just personal improvements. The whole thing knitted together, 2:17.195. Top time so far, and we've got, this is going quick, under 8 minutes of the session remaining. Just love these cars around here.
Seeing that I tried to put you on the spot to pick a winner, I was about to say, what's the best livery? But you told me that already. It was a silly question because you're besotted with the Hello Kitty Audi.
So what is the best livery that doesn't have a cat on it?
Oh, okay. Right, this is Vanthoor. Look at the concentration. You can blink, you know, Laurens.
He doesn't, does he?
Oh, there.
There we go.
Yeah.
Afforded himself a blink.
1 blink, yes. It used to be Mirko Bortolotti that you could go with a complete lap and he wouldn't blink at all.
Isn't that incredible?
Just absolutely focused, yeah. Became dubbed as Blinkerlotti.
He hasn't blinked again.
Out of it. So Laurens Vanthoor is currently doing personal best Sector 1 and personal best Sector 2. But look at the amount of effort and energy put into driving the car.
This is incredible.
So smooth on the paddles, isn't he? Just
beautiful.
Just a finger tap.
Absolutely beautiful.
So there is the very, very successful Laurens Vanthoor. Comes up towards Donna Maria, toward that left. The Toro Racing Porsche heading towards the hairpin. One or two others that you kind of expect to be higher up. This year's DTM champion, Thomas Priming, is only 17th. Jules Gounon only 15th. And Kevin Estre only 14th.
And DTM is in GT3 machinery now, isn't it?
Some GT3-ish plus.
Yeah.
Single driver, double header races, but yes. Not away from being a silhouette touring car category to GT racing. So comparable cars, absolutely, not much difference.
I've not spoken that much about Daniel Juncadello, who is 3rd, and he's got good experience here as well in Formula 3 machinery and now GT machinery as well. He is 4th now because Laurens Vanthoor with that lap did a 2:17.250. So just that middle sector was not a personal improvement on that lap for Laurens Vanthoor. He goes 2nd, and this is the good thing. This is what I rather like about this. We don't have one manufacturer, one car that is dominating. We've got such a mix of machinery, all with world-class drivers at the wheel of them. So Raffaele Marciello, Laurens Vanthoor, Christopher Haase, Daniel Juncadello, Mauro Engel and Sheldon van der Linde are the top 6. Oh, and Adley Fong is 7th.
In the Hello Kitty Audi, yes.
Thank you.
Okay. Matteo Cairoli is 8th, and he had just done an absolute best in the second sector, but now Augusto Farfus has got going in the BMW, so Farfus has done 2 absolute bests.
So Marciello is still top of the times at 2:16. Oh, improved. So 2:16.956 on that last lap. So Raffaele Marciello is absolutely storming here in free practice. 2:16.956, as perhaps we would expect him to do. But 3/10 ahead of Lawrence Van Teur. Christopher Haase is 3rd. Daniel Juncadella is 4th. Mar Engels, Sheldon van der Linde, Adley Fong, Matteo Cairoli, Earl Bamber, Pinoriello completes the top 10. 4 minutes and 30 remain on the clock. Mouth-watering machinery, Mercedes, BMW, Audi, Porsche, Ferrari, all of them here for the Macau GT Cup, featuring the FIA GT World Cup as well. And what an attraction this is for manufacturers and drivers and teams alike.
Right, Farfus ought to get himself up to the pointy end here in BMW number 11 as he breaks the beam, coming in a moment down towards our bend, because he's done 3 improved sectors. Sector 4 was a little bit down, but he certainly started off very, very well. Earl Bamber has gone 9th, and he's been an improver. And as Farfus breaks the beam, he goes 9th. Okay, not as good as I was expecting.
And he did have 3 overall best sectors.
Yeah.
So it's only the 4th sector which really cost dearly with the BMW. So the BMW's got pace. That would suggest to me traffic on that lap in sector 4, because everything else was going purple or green.
Or a little mistake at the Melco hairpin.
Or a little mistake at the Melco hairpin.
That's what he does on this lap. Absolute best sector 1. So that takes you all the way down towards Lisboa. This is sector 2 and the steep climb heading up San Francisco Hill. Right, opposite us is the marshal's post on the timing line. I'm just going to see if I can throw anything at somebody to make them lose the checkered flag, because there are only 3 minutes of this to go. I know
with
it's
this.
to end.
We can carry on. We've got them again. They're
That's
the
true.
final thing on track at the end of the day. Local time at 4:10. But what a treat.
Yeah.
And dare we say, potentially, we could see a checkered flag at the end of this session. Without stoppage.
Well, absolutely. But doesn't that reflect the fact that you've got quality drivers as well?
It does.
Who drive these cars week in, week out, and are at the top of their game. And I have to say, I'm fortunate enough to watch a lot of GT racing over the year, whether it's in Europe or in Asia or in the British Championship. But this is a treat and a half to see a single driver race, which we have also in the motorsport games every second year. But yeah, proper drivers, manufacturer cars, what a circuit. It ticks every box, doesn't it?
It does. Yeah, I was explaining this to somebody yesterday who hasn't been to Macau before, saying it's so rare that you get to see these cars doing what is essentially a sprint race.
Yeah, exactly.
It's a joy, and not only that, so they have a 16-lap race, and that is so much shorter than any other race they have around the world. For part of the regular championships, they are all, at the very least, I suppose, 1 hour race, 2 hour race, 3 hour race, 6 hour race, 12 hour race, 24 hour race. That's what these cars are built for. That's what these cars are designed for. To see them do a sprint race, essentially the length of a touring car race, is a joy. It's different. It's something else. It's something different.
Right, well, Farfus hasn't given up. Matteo Cairoli is at the top again, 2 minutes 16.593 from Raffaele Marciello. Danny Juncadella is 3rd, Lawrence Van Teur is 4th. This is Marciello, and he is going out of reservoir climbing. You flinch even sitting watching it, don't you? It's just awesome. Right.
It's super.
Juncadella pressing on. What did Farfus do as he got towards the end of the lap? It wasn't all that special, strangely. Marciello, there's nothing else that you can wring out of that car. His foot is nearly through the floor, and he's still pressing the throttle.
Really impressive. That Danny Juncadella on that lap has gone purple in sector 2, and then maybe not getting the best of sector 3s, but Danny is currently in 4th position. Cairoli is top of the times, 2:16.593.
And Mauro Engel is only 10th, although you could argue that it is only free practice. They'll get really wound up qualified. People like Jules Gounon never raced here, so everything's achieved in GC racing. There's a bit of track learning going on here. Danny Junqueira comes now down towards our bend. Another massively striking livery. That's the other great thing about this. The liveries that are all special for this event are representing the culture. So there goes Danny Junqueira. That lap was good enough to be 5th. And Raffaele Marciello, even though he's dropping down the order and the checkered flag is out, Marciello is on a decent lap.
This has been such a treat, hasn't it? And we get to see them again at the end of today. They qualify at 2:05 tomorrow afternoon. And then we have a qualification race on Saturday and the big race, the Macau GT Cup final on Sunday. They are just joyful. I know.
Can I get excited about Kevin S?
Yes.
I don't need much invitation to get excited about Kevin S because I hold my hand up. I think the guy's an absolute star. But he's gone 3rd fastest now. So we have Porsche 1, 2, 3. If my SRO cohort John Watson were here, he'd be jumping up and down in his chair as a Porsche fan. But Porsche, Mercedes, BMW, Mercedes, Porsche, Audi, BMW, your top 10.
Does he? Does John get excited about?
He's got his Porsche owner.
His favourite, yeah. Quite right too.
Raffaele Marciello back to the top, and he's 4 tenths quicker than anybody else. A 2:16.150. He's intending to leave Macau not only with a big trophy, but also to end the relationship with Mercedes in style. That was Lawrence Vanthor taking the flag, and he's gone 2nd, 0.247 of a second back. Do you know what this means, Alan?
Go on.
We've got the top 9 within a second.
How amazing is that?
Top 10
top
now.
10. Wow, El Bamba there, just at the tail end of the top 10. Absolutely suit. Now, don't forget, we've still got drivers putting in purples on this final lap as well.
Kevin S up towards the line, and Kevin doesn't improve. He did a couple of good sectors, but Kevin S stays, I should say, 4th fastest.
Junqueira put in a purple on this final lap in Sector 2. Eduardo Mortara put in a purple in Sector 4 on this final lap. He stays 8th. Mr. Macau in 8th place. Goodness me, what a lineup we have. This is absolutely fantastic.
The thing is, though, with this entry, if you said to the postman, go and give that to Mr. Macau, he'd be spoilt for choice.
I know he would, yeah.
A lot of very successful drivers here now. So over the timing line goes Mauro Engel, ending up 5th. Here comes Alessio Picariello, who kind of got elbowed back down the order a bit, and he finishes 14th, just clear of Jules Gounon. Good, eh? Do you know, I bumped into somebody earlier on, motor racing fan, and they said to me, I've never seen a GT car on the track before.
I know.
Because their motorsport interests are such that they watch touring cars or other things.
Motorcycles, yeah.
If that doesn't make you love GT cars, you're in the wrong place, aren't you?
I tell you what,
you've come to the wrong party.
That was just wonderful. It always is, and that's confirmation. Raffaele Marciello goes top of the times in car number 48 at 2:16.150. Lawrence Vanthor goes 2nd in 99, and just 2 tenths of a second behind. Matteo Caroli goes 3rd. Kevin Estre is 4th. Mauro Engel is 5th. Danny Junqueira is 6th. Sheldon van der Linde is 7th, and a reminder that all importantly, Adderley Fong is in 11th place in the Hello Kitty car. I can't help myself.
We're getting the hint. Christopher Hauser, who was quick early on, ending up 12th. Augusto Farfus behind him, then Alessio Picariello. But look at some of those star names further down the order. I'll tell you what, when we get to qualifying tomorrow, light the blue touch paper and stand back.
And retire.
Free practice 1 completed for the Macau GT Cup. I'll be back on track for FP2 later this afternoon.